welcome to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most important and often misunderstood topics. What makes sex truly good? Is it about physical pleasure, or is there a deeper emotional connection at play? Let's find out. Segment 1. The question of good sex. What is good sex? It's a question that seems simple but carries deep complexity. For some, it's all about chemistry and physical thrills. For others, it's about the emotional resonance that lingers long after the act. Good sex isn't just about mechanics or orgasm. It's about meaning, connection, and emotional fulfillment. It reflects who we are, how we relate, and what we need on both physical and psychological levels. This segment lays the foundation for our journey. We'll explore why good sex varies so much from person to person and how factors like trust, self-awareness, communication, and personal values all contribute to the experience. Whether you're new to intimacy or looking to deepen a relationship, understanding this balance is key to satisfaction. Segment 2. Physical pleasure defined. Physical pleasure is the most tangible aspect of sex. It's what we feel in the body. From the rush of adrenaline to the warmth of touch, it involves the stimulation of nerve endings, hormonal surges, and sensory arousal. Dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins all play critical roles in creating pleasurable sensations. But while these chemicals bring temporary euphoria, they don't guarantee emotional fulfillment. Pleasure alone can feel hollow without connection. This segment explores the science behind physical pleasure, how it works, why it feels good, and what its limitations are. We'll also examine how factors like stress, health, and environment impact physical pleasure. Ultimately, physical satisfaction is one part of the whole. It's vital but not the full picture of good sex. Segment 3. Emotional intimacy explored. Emotional intimacy brings richness to sex. It's the trust you share, the comfort and vulnerability, the feeling of being fully seen and accepted. When this layer is present, physical pleasure deepens and connection intensifies. Emotional intimacy doesn't mean you have to be in love. It means you're emotionally present, honest, and safe with your partner. This segment explores the ways in which emotional closeness transforms sex from an act to an experience. We'll look at the signs of emotional intimacy such as eye contact, communication, responsiveness, and shared emotional space. When people feel emotionally secure, they're more open, experimental, and fulfilled during intimacy. Developing emotional intimacy requires patience, empathy, and ongoing communication. It's not always easy, but it's almost always worth it. Segment 4. The role of communication. Communication is the heartbeat of fulfilling sex. It's how we express desires, share boundaries, and co-create experiences that feel safe and exciting. Without communication, assumptions can breed resentment, disappointment, and emotional disconnect. This segment explores how open, honest dialogue creates the foundation for mutual understanding and pleasure. We'll look at how to initiate these conversations, whether you're talking about fantasies, preferences, or emotional needs. Communication isn't just verbal, it includes body language, timing, tone, and the willingness to listen deeply. Practicing non-judgmental communication invites trust and openness. When partners feel safe to speak freely, sex becomes a space of shared exploration rather than pressure or performance. Good sex thrives in communication. Segment 5. Cultural influences on sexuality. Culture silently shapes how we perceive sex, what we consider normal, pleasurable, or even taboo. Religion, media, family values, and education all play a role in forming our sexual beliefs and expectations. This segment unpacks how these cultural influences can either support or suppress emotional and sexual expression. For instance, some cultures equate good sex with emotional intimacy and monogamy, while others view it through lenses of performance, conquest, or shame. These internalized beliefs often affect our ability to communicate, feel safe, and access pleasure. Recognizing and questioning these cultural messages can help us rewrite the narratives we carry. Becoming conscious of societal conditioning empowers us to make choices that align with our authentic sexual selves. Segment 6. The science of arousal. Arousal is both biological and psychological. It begins in the brain and spreads through the body, igniting a cascade of physiological responses. Hormones like testosterone, oxytocin, and dopamine amplify our readiness, while the mind contributes through fantasies, memories, and emotional cues. But arousal isn't always spontaneous. It can be context-dependent, requiring the right mood, environment, or emotional climate. In this segment, we'll examine the dual control model of arousal, the balance between excitatory and inhibitory systems in the brain. We'll also explore how factors like stress, trauma, or mental health affect desire. Understanding how arousal works, beyond the myths, helps us become more patient and attuned with ourselves and our partners, paving the way for better connection. Segment 7. The impact of consent. Consent is the foundation of ethical and fulfilling sex. It's not just a checkbox, it's an ongoing, enthusiastic agreement between all participants. True consent includes respect, clarity, and freedom from pressure. In this segment, we'll explore how to recognize and give affirmative consent, why it matters for both physical safety and emotional intimacy, and how it enhances trust. When both partners feel respected and empowered, they're more relaxed and able to enjoy the experience fully. We'll also debunk common myths about consent, such as the idea that it kills the mood. In truth, clear communication around consent often leads to better, more connected sex. Consent isn't the end of desire, it's the beginning of real intimacy. Segment 8. Connection versus performance. Society often pushes a performance-driven model of sex, focused on technique, endurance, and climax. While skill can enhance pleasure, it can also lead to anxiety, disconnection, and unrealistic expectations. Connection, on the other hand, emphasizes presence, emotional engagement, and mutual pleasure. In this segment, we'll contrast these two approaches. Performance is external, it seeks approval. Connection is internal, it fosters understanding. We'll explore how shifting the focus from doing it right to being with each other changes the entire experience. When partners tune into each other instead of scripts, sex becomes an expression of emotional truth. Pleasure deepens and so does satisfaction. The best moments come not from perfection but from presence. Segment 9. Psychological needs and sex. Sex often meets more than physical needs. It touches our longing for connection, affirmation, escape, or even control. When we seek sex unconsciously to fill emotional voids, we may feel disappointed or confused afterward. In this segment, we'll explore how psychological needs, like love, security, and identity, shape our sexual desires and behaviors. Becoming aware of these underlying motivations allows us to engage in more intentional, honest intimacy. Whether you're seeking closeness, healing, or excitement, recognizing what you truly need opens the door to deeper emotional connection. Sex can be a mirror to the self. When we look into it clearly, we can navigate intimacy with more compassion and clarity. Segment 10. Long-term relationships and intimacy. Over time, sexual intimacy in long-term relationships evolves. The early rush of novelty fades, but a deeper, more complex connection can emerge. In this segment, we'll explore the challenges and opportunities of maintaining fulfilling sex over time. Topics include navigating mismatched libidos, dealing with stress, and overcoming routine. We'll also discuss how emotional check-ins, shared vulnerability, and new experiences can rekindle passion. Long-term intimacy thrives on communication and curiosity, not just attraction. Reigniting sexual connection isn't about chasing old sparks, but about cultivating a deeper fire rooted in emotional understanding. When couples grow together, their intimacy becomes a reflection of their shared journey. Segment 11. Mindfulness and sexual experience. Mindfulness brings awareness, calm, and intentionality to sexual experiences. Instead of rushing toward a goal or comparing yourself to others, you stay fully present, with your body, your partner, and the moment. This segment explores how mindful practices like breath work, eye contact, and sensation focus can transform sex from mechanical to meaningful. We'll also address how mindfulness helps manage anxiety, increases pleasure, and strengthens emotional bonds. Mindful sex isn't about being perfect, it's about being real. When we release pressure and show up authentically, intimacy becomes a sacred space of connection, healing, and joy. It's not how fast or how long, it's how present you are. Segment 12. Vulnerability and openness. Vulnerability is the gateway to deep connection in sexual experiences. When we allow ourselves to be truly seen, emotionally, mentally, and physically, we invite authenticity into the moment. This doesn't mean revealing every secret, but rather being honest about desires, fears, and boundaries. In sex, vulnerability might look like asking for what you want, admitting nervousness, or expressing deep affection without fear of rejection. This segment explores how vulnerability cultivates trust and emotional safety, making space for more intimate and rewarding encounters. We'll look at the balance between protecting ourselves and being open, and how shame or fear often get in the way. The truth is, when two people meet without masks, the intimacy becomes more than physical. It becomes profoundly human. Vulnerability is strength, not weakness, and embracing it can unlock a whole new depth in your sexual and emotional relationships. Segment 13. Body image and self-acceptance. Our relationship with our own body has a direct impact on how we experience sex. If we feel ashamed, insecure, or disconnected from our physical self, it can create barriers to intimacy. In this segment, we'll explore the link between body image and sexual fulfillment. We'll talk about how cultural beauty standards can distort self-perception and how body positivity and self-compassion help foster more confident, relaxed sexual experiences. Loving your body isn't about perfection, it's about connection. When you feel at home in your own skin, you're more likely to feel open, spontaneous, and present with a partner. We'll also discuss how partners can support each other's body acceptance, creating a space where every body is celebrated, not judged. Embracing your body as it is can radically transform the way you give and receive pleasure. Segment 14. The power of aftercare. Aftercare refers to the emotional and physical care partners give each other after sex. It's often overlooked, but it's essential for deepening connection and fostering emotional safety. Aftercare can include cuddling, talking, reassurance, or simply sharing quiet space together. In this segment, we'll explore why aftercare matters, especially after intense or vulnerable experiences. Even when sex is enjoyable, the body and mind may feel exposed or sensitive afterward. Aftercare helps to close the emotional loop, reinforcing trust and intimacy. We'll also discuss how to talk about aftercare needs openly with a partner. It's not a sign of neediness, it's a sign of respect and care. When partners prioritize aftercare, they create a relationship culture that values emotional presence, not just physical performance. Good sex doesn't end at climax. It continues with care, affirmation, and gentle presence long after. Segment 15. Fantasy, imagination, and safe exploration. Sexual fantasy is a powerful aspect of human desire. Our imaginations allow us to explore scenarios, emotions, and experiences that might not happen in real life, and that's completely normal. In this segment, we'll discuss the role of fantasy in healthy sexual expression. Fantasies are not prescriptions. They are reflections of curiosity, creativity, and personal meaning. Exploring them with a partner can enhance communication, build trust, and introduce novelty. It's important to approach this topic with openness and mutual consent. We'll also touch on the difference between fantasy and reality, and how to create emotional safety when sharing desires. By honoring each other's fantasies without judgment, partners can unlock deeper layers of connection. A rich imaginative life can make sex more exciting and meaningful, not because it's scripted, but because it's shared authentically. Segment 16. Gender dynamics and expectations. Cultural and social expectations around gender shape how people experience and express sexuality. Men may feel pressure to perform or always initiate, while women might be conditioned to prioritize others' pleasure over their own. In this segment, we'll unpack how these gender roles impact intimacy and how breaking free from them can lead to more honest, satisfying sex. Emotional depth often suffers when people act from a place of expectation rather than authenticity. We'll explore how to challenge internalized roles and encourage more fluid, equitable dynamics. Whether you're in a same-gender or different-gender relationship, dismantling outdated scripts opens the door to more genuine, mutual experiences. When people are free to be fully themselves, regardless of gender norms, they can meet each other with deeper understanding and respect. Good sex begins with the freedom to be real. Segment 17. Trauma and healing through intimacy. Many individuals carry trauma that affects their experience of sex, whether from past abuse, emotional neglect, or painful relationships. This segment addresses the sensitive but vital topic of healing through intimacy. Sex can trigger old wounds, but it can also be a powerful space for transformation when approached with care and consent. We'll discuss how to identify trauma responses, create emotionally safe environments, and build trust gradually. Healing isn't linear. It requires patience, communication, and sometimes professional support. Partners can play a supportive role by being responsive, non-judgmental, and emotionally present. When intimacy becomes a place where one feels seen, respected, and in control, it can help rewire old patterns and restore connection. Good sex isn't about ignoring pain. It's about creating space where healing is possible. Segment 18. Emotional intelligence in the bedroom. Emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions, plays a crucial role in sexual and relational satisfaction. This segment explores how emotional awareness enhances intimacy. Being attuned to your own feelings and your partner's emotional state allows for more responsive, compassionate experiences. We'll discuss key emotional intelligence skills like empathy, regulation, and conflict resolution, and how they apply to sexual dynamics. For example, being able to notice when your partner is anxious or withdrawn, and respond with curiosity rather than defensiveness, can prevent disconnection and build closeness. Emotional intelligence helps partners navigate difficult conversations, unmet needs, or mismatched desires with grace. Sex becomes more than a physical act. It becomes an emotional exchange rooted in understanding and care. Segment 19. The role of curiosity in intimacy. Curiosity keeps intimacy alive. Rather than assuming we know everything about ourselves or our partners, staying curious invites ongoing discovery. In this segment, we'll explore how sexual and emotional curiosity can deepen connection. Asking questions like, "What feels good to you today?" or "How has your desire changed lately?" keeps the conversation fresh and engaging. Curiosity reduces pressure to perform and replaces it with an attitude of exploration and co-creation. It also helps partners grow together over time, adapting to life changes and evolving needs. When we remain open to learning about our partner and ourselves, we avoid falling into routine or complacency. The best lovers are not those who know it all, but those who stay curious, attentive, and willing to grow. Segment 20. Spirituality and sexual connection. For many, sex isn't just physical or emotional, it can also be spiritual. This segment explores how sexual intimacy can be a path to greater meaning, unity, and transcendence. We'll look at spiritual traditions like Tantra that view sexuality as a sacred connection between souls. Even outside of specific philosophies, mindful, intentional sex can evoke feelings of oneness, gratitude, and awe. Spiritual sex is less about techniques and more about presence. It's about tuning into your partner's energy, listening with your whole being, and honoring the act as a moment of shared life force. Whether you identify as spiritual or not, approaching sex with reverence and purpose can elevate the experience beyond pleasure into something transformative and deeply human. Segment 21. Navigating differences in desire. Desire isn't always equal. Partners may want different things at different times and for different reasons. In this segment, we'll explore how to navigate these differences with care and respect. Instead of seeing mismatched desire as a problem, we'll reframe it as an opportunity for deeper communication. We'll discuss how to identify patterns, express needs without blame, and negotiate solutions that honor both people. Differences in libido, preferences, or emotional readiness are normal, but how couples respond to them makes the difference. Compassion, patience, and creativity can turn conflict into connection. The goal isn't perfect alignment, it's mutual understanding and shared effort. When both partners feel heard and valued, even differences become bridges to deeper intimacy. Segment 22. The myth of spontaneity. Pop culture often glamorizes spontaneous sex, sudden, effortless, and always exciting. But real life doesn't always work that way. This segment challenges the myth of spontaneity and explores the value of intentionality. Scheduled or planned intimacy doesn't have to be boring. In fact, it can be deeply satisfying when approached with care. Anticipation can build desire, and knowing your partner has made time just for you can create emotional depth. We'll explore how to balance spontaneity with structure, especially in busy lives or long-term relationships. Letting go of the myth that sex should just happen allows couples to take control of their intimacy and shape it consciously. True passion often comes not from chance, but from intention. Segment 23. Redefining satisfaction. What does sexual satisfaction really mean? It's not just about orgasms or frequency, it's about feeling seen, connected, and fulfilled. This segment invites us to rethink satisfaction beyond traditional metrics. Satisfaction may come from laughter, deep conversation, cuddling, or simply being held with presence. Everyone's definition is different, and it can evolve over time. We'll explore how to reflect on your own satisfaction and talk about it with a partner in ways that invite growth, not shame. Redefining satisfaction empowers people to claim their desires and co-create experiences that are truly meaningful. In doing so, sex becomes less of a performance and more of a dialogue, an expression of care, and a reflection of love. Segment 24. The ongoing journey of intimacy. Good sex is not a destination, it's a journey. It changes as we change, and that's part of its beauty. In this final segment, we'll reflect on how intimacy is a living, evolving process that requires curiosity, effort, and compassion. There's no perfect formula, only ongoing learning. What matters is presence, honesty, and a willingness to grow together. Emotional depth and physical pleasure are not opposing forces. They are partners in the dance of human connection. Whether you're single, partnered, or somewhere in between, the path to good sex begins with knowing yourself, respecting others, and embracing the richness of intimacy in all its forms. Conclusion. As we've seen, good sex is far more than just pleasure. It's about connection, communication, emotional depth, and self-awareness. It's a powerful part of the human experience, shaped by our beliefs, needs, and relationships. By embracing both the physical and emotional dimensions of intimacy, we can create more fulfilling and meaningful connections. Remember, intimacy is a journey, not a destination. Stay curious, stay kind, and keep exploring. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you understand intimacy more deeply, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on relationships, emotional wellness, and human connection. See you in the next video. Take care.